everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to you about getting the body you want in 3 months. That's not to say if you are currently 250 pounds, you will be 150 pounds in 3 months. That's more to say whatever goal that you set for yourself for the next 3 months will be hit. Tip number 1 is understand your behaviors. You ever wonder why destructive behaviors tend to prevail in your life? It's not even stuff that you want to be doing. You might feel like you just drink way too much, or like me, I used to have severe binge eating sessions. If those are the kind of behaviors that you're just like, I don't even like this. I don't like the feeling of eating until I feel like my stomach is about to explode, and I know I'm not hungry and the food is not even really tasting good anymore, but I can't help myself. I have to run back to the kitchen and eat more. You don't like how you feel. You do it in secret. You do it in private. You don't want anyone to know that you're doing it. It's the same thing when people experience over drinking or binge drinking, even just destructive behaviors that you don't even like, that doesn't bring you any joy or pleasure, but you don't understand why you cannot stop. It's so important to understand your behaviors, why it may be hard for you to maintain good habits. Like when you're just sitting in your room late at night, you're like, boy, like I really want to start lifting weights, or I really want to start jogging every morning, or I really want to start meditating or doing yoga or whatever it is. And literally you want that. Like in your heart, it's something that when you do it, you feel good, you enjoy it. It's something that when you imagine yourself in the future, you know, like that's how you imagine your real, true, best self. You imagine yourself doing these things. You really like it. But it's hard to stay on track with these things. Why is it? You ever wonder why it's so hard for you to stay with the things that are good for you? You got to understand what trips you up. What blocks are in the way every time? What are the things that trigger you? That is what This Is Not a Diet Book is all about. If you haven't already gotten your copy, you need to get your copy today, right now. It's a quick way. Honestly, I know all of you already know that it's super important that you understand your behaviors and why you do what you do, because once you understand why you do what you do, it empowers you to change the way you behave. A lot of people understand this conceptually, but have no idea how to do it. They have no idea how to make it work. How do I get to what's going on in my head so that I can start to change what's happening in my brain so that I get better results, more desirable results? I go through every single one of these things in This Is Not a Diet Book. I have 7 intensive sessions that will, once you do all the work, have you in a place where you understand exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. By the end of the book, you will have total control over your behaviors. Total control. So if you're eating pizza or whatever, it's because you want to. It's because you're making the conscious decision to do it instead of feeling like you have absolutely no control. If you set a goal and you say, I want to lose 30 pounds in the next 3 months, and you don't understand your behaviors and you already know what you've been struggling with, you fell off this wagon before, when you set that 3-month goal, you're gonna feel like it's just a gamble. Let's be real. Let's be real for just 1 second. When you set goals, sometimes don't you feel like it's a gamble? Like maybe I will, maybe I won't, because I don't really know if I don't know how I act. If I act right, if I can get myself to act right, then I'll probably hit my goals. But if not, if I can't get myself to stop binge eating and binge drinking, and if I can't, get my ass off that couch and get to the gym or whatever it is you want to do every day, then I won't hit that goal. But I hope, it just feels like a hope. Like I just hope that I can get myself to act right, right? It feels like a gamble. So when you understand yourself and you understand your behaviors, it no longer feels like a gamble. Do not overlook this tip. The very reason that I wrote this book is because I know it's so important. It is super important that you understand your behaviors so that you have control over them And once you have control over them, instead of just laying on the couch and daydreaming the kind of life that you wish you can force yourself to have, you will actually be able to live that life. And you can go try to figure it out on your own, baby girl. You can do it the long way, or you can just go ahead right now and cop the book. It's still $10 through January, and I think I'm gonna keep it $10 through February as well. Tip number 2 is surround yourself with the right vibes. A lot of us are blessed enough to have these kinds of people around us, friends and family, where they encourage you and they lift you up and they give you advice and tips, and they're there with you. They always have good vibes around it. They're encouraging and inspiring and motivating. So I was watching this show called My 500-Pound Life, I think that's what it's called, My 500-Pound Life. And oh, this show can be so emotional. Like, it can be so sad to watch these people go through this. But one common theme that I noticed was a lot of the time it's the person's family. Like, they get the surgery and then they come back home to start working on, you know, eating healthy and exercising so they can get this weight off and they can build new habits. And a lot of the time, the ones that don't make it, the ones that end up falling off, they don't lose any weight or they end up gaining weight, is because the people around them were not helping. If you're in a toxic environment, how do I put this? Okay, let's say that you are red, you're in all red paint, and you want to be in all blue paint, right? But the environment around you, not only are you all red paint, but your environment is also all red paint. Your husband's all red paint. Or if you're younger, your mother and your father, they're all red paint. And your siblings, everybody's red paint, right? And if you wake up one day and say, you know what, I want to be blue paint. Just follow me here. I know this might sound kind of weird, but just follow me, okay? If you wake up one day and say, I want to be blue paint, you have to let everybody know around you, I'm gonna work to be blue paint. So I ask that you guys please either be blue paint with me or give me blue paint vibes. If they're giving you nothing but red paint and red paint vibes, baby, it's gonna be so hard to be blue paint surrounded by red paint. Okay. I see episodes of this show where people leave their house. Like, if they were surrounded by people, a lot of the time these people can't take care of themselves, so they do live with family and stuff like that, because, you know, they're so big that it's hard for them to care for themselves. So, but I've seen episodes where people decide to move out, where they will risk living alone and having to take care of themselves just so they can get out of that environment, that red paint environment, because they know that you are what you surround yourself with. If you can't remove yourself from around these friends and family, then what I would say is make sure you add the right vibes to your life. Do not underestimate the power of distant support systems like YouTube and Instagram, where you can just log on and find somebody like me, for example, who's gonna give you tips, who's gonna encourage you, channels that give you inspiration, fitness tips, health tips. They'll exercise with you, they're gonna eat with you, they're gonna cook with you, they're gonna give you positive vibes and encourage you. Lots of Instagram inspiration pages, okay, where they give you nothing but good vibes all the time. Lots of YouTube channels where they give you nothing but good vibes on demand, good vibes. No matter what, 3 o'clock in the morning, you're feeling down, you go to Laura Annette, and I'm gonna be right here with you, girlfriend. I've been getting a lot of requests for more fitness and exercise videos. I've been getting requests for more meal ideas and meal prep videos. So I'm gonna be bringing you a lot more of that. And then you already know I'm always gonna bring you videos where I just sit down and talk with you and make sure that we're all of the proper mindset. So yes, make sure that you subscribe right now. I will always be here to support you, always. And go to other channels and other Instagram pages and Facebook pages of people doing the same kind of thing. They're here to support you, because the more blue paint you got around you, the easier it is going to be for you to become blue too. Tip number 3, and the last tip, but a super important tip, if you understand it right, is commit. A lot of people, when they think about making a commitment, I think they confuse it with being perfect all the time. It's when you make that mistake that you're like, oh, I broke my commitment. You know what I'm saying? I broke my commitment because I had the cheeseburger or the pizza and I skipped 3 days of the gym and I broke my commitment. Making a commitment doesn't mean being perfect. When you're committed to losing the weight and you're committed to hitting that goal, that just means that you're never gonna stop. You're gonna keep pushing. You're gonna keep going for it. You're not gonna feel bad about it. You're not gonna sit there and kick yourself while you're down. Being committed is quite simply just sticking to something that you say you're gonna do. If you say you're gonna do it, no matter what comes, okay? If you say you're gonna do it, you're gonna try your hardest. And it's not even, because you know, when you're muscling through something, that if you feel like you have to constantly muscle through every day, all the time, then you probably are at the point to where you need to revisit tip number 1, because you don't understand your behaviors. It should be an ease. At some point, it should begin to be an ease, right? Of course, you're gonna wanna stick to what your daily routines are when it comes to eating and exercising. But when you fall off, that doesn't mean you broke your commitment. That just means you fell off. But you're still committed to hitting the goal. So you're just gonna get right back up and keep pushing. You're gonna keep trekking. Be committed, commit to what you say you're gonna do. If you do set out to lose 15 to 30 pounds in this next 3 months, then commit to that. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe. To get your digital copy of This Is Not a Diet Book, go ahead and click the link below. Thank you so much for watching, and always remember to take care of yourself. See you next time.